Hello guys, this is Felipe from the Noob Trader. And so today I just wanted to do a quick catch-up video on where we are in the gold market and how, as of right now, we're trending really nicely, I feel, for another retest to 1830. Um, Charts are looking really good, I think, so I'm just going to kind of give my explanations as to what I feel like is going on and what I'm kind of looking out for next. So basically, if we're looking at the day chart right now for gold, we can see that at the last gold video that I talked when I spoke, when we had this very strong push up to in the gold price, right? I think it was related to whatever news it was at the time. Can't remember anymore the data point. But as I've been saying and harping constantly on every gold video that I've done, 1760, 1750, pretty much any price below 1800, I think is going to be a good buying opportunity for gold just because the fundamentals were so strongly in favor for gold right now. And we've been just seeing this constantly, right? We've constantly been seeing this and reflecting also in price. We had that really crazy day last Friday when the news came out as well that, with Biden basically saying, hey, China attacks Taiwan, we will have to retaliate. That's some very, very strong news, right? Or some very strong words from Biden. And typically Chinese news like this or political tensions between America and China tend to lead to movements in the gold market. And that's what we really saw until Powell spoke. Powell was talking about tapering, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we got a reduction in price, but as you can see, I think everything in general is just still trending significantly upwards for gold. Fundamentally, gold is still strong, okay, especially at the prices below 1800, like especially around 1750 and this whole range that we've been pointing out before, 1750, 55, and below that, right? Um, Gold is trending really nicely. And when we got that initial rejection at 1800, right, we were talking about in the last video, are we going to get break past it or are we going to get rejected? We obviously got rejected, I mean, which is pretty normal, but we built support at the previous kind of um, relative top here, right? We built support and the bulls were in here and clearly the bulls uh, the bulls basically were outbidding the sellers here, right? The bears. And we set up a higher low, and now we've really continued upwards. And now it really looks like we're seeing a clean break above 1800, which is really, really positive to see for gold bulls right now. We'll have to see how we close later today, but right now everything's looking pretty good. And I think just given the technicals and where we are here right now, um, if we continue this pattern where gold is going to hold above 1800 or maybe bounce back below to the 200-day here around 1795, 1790, and then retest and kind of play around this area for a while before trending a little bit further upwards towards 1810, which has acted like previous resistance before. Okay, so we can't ignore 1810 or that 1810 range, but I don't think that's obviously the key range that we're looking at as a gold bull because I do ultimately think that fundamentally, again, we're still pretty strong or the fundamentals are strong still for gold. And breaking past this, given the technical patterns and the fundamental situation, I do think that breaking 1810 shouldn't be too difficult. And really the key level that we want to look for as gold bulls is the 1830 range, right? Which has basically acted as a very, very strong rejection 3 times right, in the last few months. So definitely going to expect resistance there. But the key question is, are we going to be able to break through? So I think what I'm really looking for is gold price to slowly trend towards the 1830 range, whether it gets past 1810 or, gets towards 1820 or whatever, slowly trend towards that range as we also then start to prepare for next week. So what's actually happening next week? Well, of course, next week we have again the jobs. It's the jobs week. We have the big jobs data, and particularly the key thing being we are going to be having the NFP data come out on Friday, right? As we know, the last, or 2 or if not 3 times, the NFP data has missed badly due to due to many reasons. Corona, blah, 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 just the economic recovery not going nearly as well as the Fed is hoping, and all these different things. Are we going to see another miss bad on the NFP data again? We know what happens when we do miss. You know, gold shoots. typically shoots up big. And of course, people are going to be looking to take profits at 1830, at the 1830 level, and also just on the DXY. Probably are going to start looking to take profits or start being more bullish into the dollar around the 93.5 level, let's say. Of course, we have to take those areas into consideration. But I think the reality is that if we maybe get that really strong or really big miss in NFP again, maybe that's going to be the catalyst which can actually push us past 1830, right? Along with all the other kind of data points that come out on jobs week, right? Whether it's I mean, we even have the Fed interest rate decision, and there's going to be a Powell press conference, right? So we're going to have that kind of um, back and forth there, right? Where maybe Powell's going to be really pushing, yeah, we need to start really focusing on inflation. So we have that kind of going against gold, but then at the same time, we could have a big NFP miss. So next week is going to be really interesting. But what I'm really looking for is to see gold trend, maybe bounce around here, but then slowly trend towards the 1830 range before the big news data next week. But what have we seen again? In the last few months, what have we seen? A lot of these news events have been pretty fundamentally positive for gold, and I'm still not really sure why it would change now. I'm not really sure. Yes, I feel like the Delta variant or the coronavirus issues that have reemerged with Delta have kind of died down a bit. A lot of countries are starting to reopen a lot more. Also in Europe, whatever, people are getting a lot more used to, or like countries are also getting a lot more used to just having to deal with the virus. So maybe this is going to lead to a better jobs report than we saw in the last few months, but I got to see it to believe it as well. Okay, I really got to see it to believe it, and I just think again, still, regardless of the jobs data or not, fundamentally gold's in a good position for all the other reasons, because of all the political tension, because of the inflation, because of all the different things that we've talked about on this channel, the stock market issue, blah, 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 blah. All those different things, I still think gold's in a good position. So let's see how we trend over the next few days, but this is really the key things that I'm looking out for until we hit the NFP news next Friday and also the Powell press conference on Thursday. Okay, guys? If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'll happily answer. If you like the content, if you like me rambling, please consider giving me a thumbs up. I like doing these gold videos. It's really fun to track gold. I follow this market a lot, and I like giving my insight. So if you like my insight, please also consider subscribing. See you in the next video.